Right, guys, I've read an article yesterday about Bulgaria's just ordered or procured, they've already got them, 580,000 doses of the corona jab or needle, whatever you want to call it. But also they're rolling out alongside it. It looks like the flu, a flu jab. So which arm are you going to use for which? So anyway, I would like to say, well, the likes of Edwina Curry, Esther Ranson, Kenny Dalglish, Lenny Henry, all them people, they're quite willing now to not take. I don't think any of them are taking this thing anymore. Now, I think we should now be given the opportunity to tell them that they have to take it until they tell us that the reasons why they don't have to take it, and when it became safe not to take it, and why it's still being rolled out to vulnerable people who they've influenced, and those people are still taking it. And a lot, I think in the UK, I had a look at the Gov website that it's made, but a lot of those things are out of date. They haven't posted or renewed stuff since 2022 about testing and all the rest of it. They just stopped. But all these people, Charlie Mullins, the plumber, the Pimlico plumber, and all the rest of these people who were like going around, well, a lot of people. But as far as I'm aware, they never ever came out and said like well, we don't need to take it anymore. And they were telling us that we had to take it, otherwise we couldn't go to hospital. Like Esther Ranson. And if I'd have had my abscess at that time, and they'd listened to her, I would have been dead by now. She would have killed me. And that's how dangerous these people were. Edwina Curry. If I keep mentioning these people over and over again, well, Kenny Dalglish, they were all at it. Lenny Henry, he couldn't get any laughs, so he, he became the face of the poster child of the jab. But I've never heard any of these people say they don't have to take it anymore. So it's available here in Bulgaria. So get yourselves over here. And I'm telling you the same thing as you told us, that you've got to take it. You've got to carry on taking it until we tell you that otherwise, it's not. You don't get to decide. You were the ones who was telling us that we had to take it, or you got no hospital treatment for other things, or you couldn't go out, or you couldn't have a job. And it was a mandate. But you've never reversed it, and you've never said why. It's no longer necessary. I haven't heard anybody anyway. All these people. They might have said something. Charlie Mullins did. He said that we were doing as we were told, that's what you would expect. And also Rod Stewart and his son got injured. So well done, Rod. You got your son injured. Yeah, he had a reaction. And Charlie Mullins, he was dubbed the pound shop, Rod Stewart. So all these clowns, and some of them will say, well, we didn't know. Well, we did. We did. How did we know? How did I know? Because I was listening to people like Sherry Tenpenny, who've been involved with this stuff, the mRNA stuff, for a decade. And she said, and he said, oh, there wasn't any test done. Well, there was. There was. And every single animal died. All of them. The mRNA tests. And if you looked into it, even at the time, all the patents that were knocking about, they were all taken out around about 2017, 18, 19. All these patents for tests and all the rest of it, the medicines. It was all there. It was all the Rockefellers and all that, and they were taking them out in places like the Netherlands and that. Or do you think you're not going to... yeah. And they ordered a load of midazolam beforehand. That was the British government. That's not a medicine. That's a hospice treatment where you're killing people, making death quicker and more comfortable. Midazolam. It's not a medicine, and they ordered truckloads of it, truckloads from France. So we knew. So you can't. So that's that one out the way. That you didn't know, and you were following the science and all the rest of it. We were following the patents and other people. Amanda Vollmer, Anna Debussier, all these people. Why did we all know? But now, at the veil of silence, all these dickheads won't talk about it now. Lenny Henry and all them. So I can put it to them. You should be taking it until you're told otherwise. Until you tell us otherwise, that like why you shouldn't be able to, why you shouldn't be doing it, taking these, being up to date with the jabs, which you should have had about 20, 30 by now, more. So why haven't you been doing it? And why aren't you telling these other people, these 10% of vulnerable people who are still being sold this stuff, why aren't you telling them they don't have to take it anymore? That you were wrong. Tell them. You know, there's people still taking this stuff, and you know quite well what it is. And you were, well, if you don't, well, you should be taking it. And you also want to tell us about the status of this illness, because why is it still a thing? Where is it? That's what I want to know. Where's all the stats? Where the people? Right, and why aren't the tests reliable? Because we could all do that. We could all say, well, go and buy 20 tests from different outlets, and then we'll test the one person 20 times, and all the tests will both be different. Guaranteed. All the tests won't be the same. And I'd like to be them to explain to us where it went. Just one day. Disappeared. Everything disappeared. Tests, needles, illness, all just gone. And didn't need to be talked about. And shouldn't be talked about. And if you do talk about it, you're in jail. That's where they were at. So I think we have a right now to say to them, why aren't you taking this medicine, Esther Ranson and Edwina Curry and whoever else, Lenny Henry, Dolly Parton, all of them. Why aren't you taking it? And why don't you have to? And if you don't have to, why did you have to before? And what changed? Because you should have all the answers to all this if you're telling people like me, who I got my domicile, my place where I was living, I lost that, which was my caravan, and I lost my living, job, because I didn't want to take part in any tests, and so I couldn't travel. I was here in Bulgaria, right? So I didn't want to take any tests. I didn't want to take the chance of getting locked up in a caravan in a windy field somewhere because of you, right? So it didn't. I didn't work anymore, which turned out great actually. But like that's another story. but like, so why don't you have to take it anymore, Edwina Curry? Tell me, or tell us, and tell these people who are still under the influence of your scaremongering that and still taking it because they're vulnerable. They're the vulnerable people. You're a disgrace, absolute disgrace. And the government, why are they still peddling it? Well, it's obvious. Well, it's not them that's peddling. It's the pharmaceutical companies who like have big influence over these people. So why aren't you, Esther Ranson and Edwina Curry and all the rest of them, Kenny Dalglish, why aren't you now going after the pharmaceutical companies? If you don't think it's necessary anymore, why are you allowing it? Because you knew everything at the time. You knew better. You knew better than us, who did a bit of research into the ingredients of these things and also the number of actual deaths and what they were dying of, which was a lot of it was midazolam. And then after that, you had the undertakers coming on saying, we're finding all these things in people that we've never ever seen before. After they'd been had this juice, and you know quite well. Everyone knows. That's why it's a veil of silence, because you know. So you should be either taking it, still advocating it, or come out and take your medicine, so to speak, pun intended. You take your medicine, you tell us that like you were wrong, or otherwise, or tell us you were right, and then why you were right to stop doing it yourself, when you're telling other people they shouldn't be fit to burn, and they should be denied hospital treatment for other conditions and things like that, or medical or dentistry or anything like that. You shouldn't be allowed on the street, shouldn't be allowed to go to the shops. That's what you were saying. But you've never ever told us why or how it all ended, as far as I can see. Let's have it, because you won't debate people like Andrew Bridgen, who's fighting a losing battle. This is all the establishment, all involved, and I don't think even a fraction of them were doing as they were saying, taking the juice. I don't think they were. But if you come to Bulgaria, I'll make sure that you go and get the juice in the right place. So there's an open offer to you, Edwina Curry. I want to see you. Lenny Henry, tell us some jokes that are funny. All these people that were like there's legions of them, and a lot of them weren't doing what they were saying they were doing, including Trudeau, Dolly Parton, all these jokers. Anyway, a little bit more serious this time, but like I want some answers. Let's have some answers. get down here, and I should be able to tell you now that you've got to take it because, well, I say so. That's what you were saying. That was your stance in those days. That you thought that was your opinion. So my opinion now is you should take it until you tell me otherwise. Until you can tell me why you shouldn't. Because I say you should. Okay. Cheers.